welcome back to another week of The Take. I'm Bill Gannon.
Hey, I'm John Spinato.
And we got Freddie back on tonight. We got an interesting
Evening,
show.
ladies and gentlemen.
Incognito.
Yeah, that's exactly. They're pretty good.
Well, I didn't want to scare you with my new haircut.
There you go.
I want to apologize. I think for last time we said there was no collusion.
Delusion?
Right? Collusion. There was no collusion, right?
Right.
But there might be. But it was on the Trump's administration.
Well, you don't want to go. You don't want to go there.
No, we said there was none, but actually there probably is. It's just not in Trump's camp. Exactly. It seems like it's shifting.
Are you pushing towards Arkansas?
I'm pushing to the side there was. I just want to say that Hillary and Bill Clinton were in Wallingford last Friday night.
I missed them. I wanted to be there.
Wow.
Yep. They were here last Friday night, and you can go on. You can see $300 a ticket on the Clinton website. The foundation, $300 a ticket.
Wow.
Or you could have went on Groupon and got the tickets as low as $9.
Oh my God.
$9. $9.
What the heck did they do with all that money they stole?
I don't know.
I mean, was donated to
You know
them.
what that proves? They didn't make money by making talks in the country.
Well, they probably did. They just put it somewhere else. They probably went into Hillary's campaign or something like that.
No, the Chinese.
They talked to
another
other
government
countries
paid
and
for
got
that
paid.
stuff. There was an open-ended
They
door
were
there.
paid
Little open-ended
handsomely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
The book called Hillary's America. Read
And I think who we got on now is a very interesting gentleman that we're going to call on tonight is David Trent. Mr. Trent.
Dave.
Hey, how are you?
All right, how you doing tonight?
Good evening to you. And it's going to be one heck of a show, let me tell you.
That's exactly.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
That's what we're hoping.
Looking for someone with more information than we have, Dave.
Dave, when did you get started in this?
I started in earnest on November 15th, 2016, when I got an anonymous letter in the mail saying that someone had a recording of the tarmac conversation between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know, I believe everything for the past 20 years has all been cockpit recorded. So there are naturally recordings in the plane?
Well, the letter said that the letter kind of beat around the bush about somebody had lost a Nagra tape recorder, which is a very expensive recorder, Nagra portable tape recorder between the seats.
Right.
And he went along, along those lines, trying to mask his identity. But it turned out that the person who actually had the recording was the pilot or co-pilot, who then tried to turn it into the media. And the media was supposed to protect him, but 2 weeks later he was found dead, and the recording has not been heard from since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting, Dave.
Wow.
Anybody else? Do you have any information? Anybody else on the plane itself?
Well, between the pilot and the co-pilot, there was someone else in that conversation. I forget who it was, but there was also allegedly a Skype conversation that was also archived somewhere. And that is, I haven't heard anything other than rumor about that, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Right. So basically, what we're going to try and look for then makes sense, right? To compile more information is if anybody has that or knows someone that has a connection to that. To push
That
it up
would
the
be
chain.
bombshell for real.
Yeah, and
Yeah, push it up the chain.
And the best thing is probably to get that out, because once you get it out, you're almost kind of protected in a way, because if you hide it and somebody finds out about it and they don't know it's out yet, somehow you're either committing suicide or you have a
with two shots to the head.
Yeah, terminal illness.
Yeah, that's not a bargaining chip.
No.
Well, we don't want to be like Seth Rich and get murdered for revenge either. So it cuts both ways.
No, exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
There is also, I worked for IBM for 25 years, 15 on Wall Street and 10 across the river in New Jersey. And during the course of those 15 years working for IBM, taking calls all over Lower Manhattan, I made a lot of friends. And I made a lot of friends in New York Police Department, One Police Plaza. And one of my friends there, who is in the forensic lab, he told me that there is a tape that was rumored that was found on Anthony Weiner's laptop of Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin torturing a child to death.
Oh my God!
And that tape does exist. I have that on first-hand information from somebody who wouldn't lie to me, and that has went onto the dark web. They had a guy named Peter Doglish or something that went over to somewhere in Southeast Asia and dumped it on the dark web, and they sent the CIA over there to arrest him. That hasn't surfaced either, as far as I know. I mean, I know people have it, but I know you got a cold too, huh? I just got over mine, man. I was coughing my brains out. That
so
tape
there's information,
and they're trying to get ahead of it because Barack Obama was over in Berlin last week talking about how voices and videos can be faked, and they're going to call these tapes and these recordings, these videos, they're going to call them fake until you get an 8mm film from one of those Abraham Zabruta type cameras, and you're not going to AI fake one of those things.
Right. Well, there are forensics out there now, though. Even if it's today's video, where you can actually forensically look at it to see if it was doctored. No.
Oh yeah, you have forensic videographers, but you have to have the equipment and the software to do it.
Right.
I mean, they had a recording on what's his name, torturing a kid in the shower. Podesta, John Podesta, and he was yelling, and they had the guy on YouTube, and he's using one of these these voice recorders. I think it was Audacity, and he was trying to compare the wavelengths, and it sounds like doesn't make it in a courtroom.
Right.
And I even said it. I called bullshit on that one because sounds like doesn't meet the criteria of beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like it fits his MO, what we know about him, all his creepy art that he has in his house, but sounds like is not beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. What are your thoughts? Excuse me for interrupting.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the New Zealand shootings? New Zealand.
New Zealand.
That brings Podesta back into the mix, doesn't it?
It sure does. It brings Podesta right back in.
There's just something else. We know that John Podesta was over there 5 days before that allegedly happened. Then they came out with this video, which looks like a video of a first-person shooter using an Xbox, and he's shooting weapons that eject shells that do not land on the floor, for one thing.
So
and the muzzle flash produces absolutely no smoke whatsoever, even though he's got a 2,000 candle power tactical flashlight flashing in front of him.
Right.
There's a lot of things wrong with that video, but at the end, he shoots the shotgun that supposedly killed a bunch of people in the mosque there, with no blood whatsoever. He takes that shotgun, aims it at his window in his car, and fires it at the windshield from inside the car, and nothing happens to the window.
Right. Well, for our viewers, I know you're ex-military. I know, but could you tell the viewers what happens when a brass shell hits the ground?
When a brass shell hits the ground, it makes a very distinct tinkling sound. Even a shotgun shell makes a sound that sounds like somebody dropped a heavy paper cup on a cement floor.
Right. So we had those. You had the
those shells just disappeared. They vaporized into thin air.
So you had literally first shooter type thing with supposed bullets going off, but there was nothing after the fact. Even though you could hear the gun going off.
Right.
There was no shells being ejected and hitting the ground. There was
no shells hitting the ground, and only muzzle blast coming out of the barrel because you see he walks up to a guy and two people in fact, and shoots him point blank in the head. 223 NATO rounds make a mess when they hit somebody's head. Yeah, and all it does is blow the cap off one guy and blows looks like somebody took a hair extension and dragged it across the street with a string. And if any of the listeners out there want to see this video, you can't see it on YouTube because as soon as I tried to upload it, it rejected it. And a half hour after I tried to upload that video, even though they said it didn't have any community guideline strikes, it gave me no copyright strikes, no strikes whatsoever,
right.
They took my entire channel down with 200 or 350 videos. They took the whole channel down.
Wow.
Took it down with no notice whatsoever.
Yeah.
Took it down. And they owe me $4,700, which I'm now going to file RICO Act lawsuit on them. They're violating the RICO Act. They told me I had 35,000 subscribers. I actually had 185 something thousand subscribers, and the ones they told me I was getting, I was getting 1,000 comments a day on the channel, which is unheard of for somebody who's got 35,000 subscribers. I mean, these consistently 8,000.
Busy.
Yeah. Well,
comments a day.
To their defense, in this day and age, the math that they're taught now, that probably is about equal. The way it goes.
Their defense is going to be, we are a private company and we can censor whoever we want.
Yeah.
But their defense doesn't hold water because they're a government-funded, government-entangled company. In effect, they are the government. If the government tells you take this guy's channel down or you'll lose the billion-dollar contracts you have with us, you're going to take their channel down.
Right.
So the government is the one who's actually calling the shots, but Google is acting in their behalf. In fact, they lost $66 billion. Alphabet lost $66 billion on the stock market the other day because they lost revenue. They're advertising to people who haven't got a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. And all the channels that are generating revenue for them, somebody's paying them. It doesn't make business sense to cut the throat of the people who made the thing what it is, because without the creators doing the work, you haven't got a channel.
Exactly.
Unless you want to watch cats play with toilet paper. I mean, that's your thing. That's your thing. But you're not going to make any money doing that.
So, as someone who served the country in the military during the Vietnam era, how do you feel about First Amendment rights being taken away from you?
I feel the Second Amendment takes its place.
Well said, Dave.
Yeah,
well said.
They're gonna.
It's like the Klingon order of the Klingon hierarchy of command. When the captain dies, the first officer takes his place.
There you go.
And that being said,
so they keep playing. That's what they're going to get. They're looking for a civil war. And I tell you what, they're a hair's breadth away from being taken out by the Patriots. And you're better off down in Gitmo looking out of a 6x6 window, sitting on a stainless steel hopper, eating a stale bologna sandwich, on stale bologna bread, and looking out the window and enjoying the breeze coming off the bait and falling into the hands of pissed off Patriots, because we ain't taking no prisoners. We'll let God sort you out, straight like that. I told them, they sent the Secret Service here. He said I threatened Hillary. The guy here with 3 cops from the town that I know, all the cops in this town. I know everybody. I worked undercover for years for the police. And the guy says, "Well, I'm only doing my job." And I said, "Yeah, that's what the Nazis said at Nuremberg. I'm only doing my job." Yeah. So you stand between the patriot and the traitor when the shit hits the fan. Just be ready to duck, Jack.
Well, they have 20 plus, future candidates that are going out for this the new position. Who do you think out of? I know Biden right now is leading. Bernie's kind of slipped a little after they came out with some socialist videos of him saying that he was all up for. He loved the way Venezuela was going. He loved the way Cuba was going. He liked China, he liked Russia. He kind of liked the standard that they were setting. So I think Bernie slid a little bit. Who do you? I mean, you think Biden's got the enough to?
Biden's got a snowball's chance in hell because his son was caught overseas in Yemen with an oil company. That Biden got caught threatening the prime minister of Yemen. If you don't lay off this investigation into this corruption with this company that his son was involved in, that he was going to stop aid to the country. Yeah. And he was VP at the time, so he he looked like he had the influence.
And that's
But
not to mention the trips.
Another story of this misuse of power.
Right.
Now,
Well, that's not
I'm gonna
even the
jump in for a second, Dave. Now, who do you think, in all honesty, is more corrupt, Hillary or Biden?
I can't hear you. Speak a little louder, please.
Yeah, sure. Now, who do you think is more corrupt, Hillary or Biden?
Well, that's hard to say. Hillary's been at it longer than Biden has. Hillary's got it all over him. She's into every. I don't know how she keeps track of it, and I don't think up until this point she needed to keep track of it because it was all going to go away when she became president.
Right.
She had it locked, and that's why she's so butthurt about losing. Because everybody told her, you got it locked.
Yeah, we already
Media was
cheated
behind
for
her.
you.
Everybody was behind her.
We
They had
cheated
machines
for you.
rigged. They had dead people voting. They had people in graves voting 5 or 6 times.
And that's it. Then you don't have to show your licenses. You don't have to do anything. I mean, the
And
standard.
now they want to give the across the border and we'll give you the vote.
Yeah, or
Everything
felons.
free in America.
And
It's like the West Side Story.
and
Everything free in
everybody in prison.
America.
You might as well just go bring the ballot box right to
And
the
they
prison.
want 16-year-olds to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16-year-olds. It's tough enough for a 16-year-old to get a driver's license.
They can't wake up in the morning.
Now you want them to vote.
No, that's exactly. When we were 16, most of us got our licenses the day of our 16th
Yep.
birthday, and we were held at responsibilities. These kids, they can't get it anymore. They can go get their permit,
Right.
and then they have to wait like 6 months before they can even start the classes, drive with the parents, all this stuff. So it's totally different now. But yet we're going to give them
The
a
right to vote.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why.
Did we lose Stony? Is Stony in there? You in there, Stony?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you.
Yeah, another guy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I just,
meet Stoney
I've
Stone,
been sitting back listening. Hey,
a
what's going
compadre
on?
of Dave's.
No, that's
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Speak up, Stoney. Jump right in.
I just wanted to say thanks, everybody, for letting us have the opportunity to have a platform to speak on, because they do not allow us to on social media.
No, they really
They
don't.
silence us. They break us down. It's a shame.
No, it is. It is. I agree with you. So, chime in. Let's get as much people involved, as many people involved as we can. Whether you're
Absolutely.
right,
That's
left,
our
just
point.
Dick, too,
at
yeah.
least open your ears,
Oh my God.
right?
Well, I'm actually
Yeah.
streaming this
That's not bad.
live
Yeah, that's not
on my their tube channel because
Gotcha.
people on my channel know what we're after. It's a radio. That's the radio. That's where we're going. We're led to this because of the censorship on social media. So we have been led to the radio part of the world because that's where it's at. That's what we feel we have to do. So that's what we're doing.
Right.
Well, I think so too.
Thank
because
you very much.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no problem.
the mainstream media. I mean, probably 90% of it is totally on board with what. And Freddie and I have talked before. John and I have talked before, and Dave, you and I even spoke today a little bit. And it's everything almost seems like it's pre-scripted. And it doesn't matter whether it's coming from NBC or MSNBC or CNN.
True.
It seems like they're all saying these key words or key phrases that come
Over
into
and
play.
over.
Yeah, over and over.
Let me do this to you. Let me do this. So let's go back a little bit in history before around the Second World War. There was a plot to seize the White House in 1932 by corporate entities that actually wanted to seize the United States government.
I did know that. Yeah.
And that you got to mute that mic, Stony, when you're coughing.
Oh, sorry about that.
There was a plot in 1932 to take over the United States government. And it was written about in a book that I ran into thanks to my good friend, my late friend, Arthur Bernklau, who was the executive director for Veterans Constitutional Law. In fact, I still run their website. He ran across this book on eBay and paid $400 for it. It's called A Plot to Seize the White House by Jules Archer. When I read that book, it knocked me for a loop because what I read in that book, I never heard in a history class. And they didn't teach history the way you're supposed to teach history. They teach, memorize the dates. What date was the Magna Carta? Who cares? I'm 12 years old. I really give a rat's behind about the Magna Carta. Teach me how the history relates to what I'm doing and for what I'm looking forward to, and make it make sense to me.
What's amazing to me is that
I hated it because it was all memorized dates. Didn't have any context to it at all.
Right.
So
never told the story.
Yeah. What amazes me about the whole thing is
General Smedley Butler. You and I would be singing Edelweiss and doing the Hitler salute right now. So we took that book, which was then out of print, and the author had passed away. His name was Jules Archer. We reprinted the book. I put it on my website for everybody to read for free. We had a reprint on LuLu.com. And then a couple of years later, the attorneys for the family regained the copyright and refiled the copyright. We took it off the website and took the thing off. But you can still get it on Amazon. And it's documented fact, with court dates, with court references and footnotes that anybody can read. And you'll read this book and you say, gee, I never knew this happened. And the coup d'etat that failed in 1932 succeeded 30 years later
with Kennedy
when they killed John F. Kennedy.
I agree.
When they killed John F. Kennedy, that was a coup d'etat, and it's still in effect today. And they talk about, well, they're trying to coup against Donald Trump. It's not so much a coup against Donald Trump. It's an attempt to keep the coup that they've had for 55 years.
Yep. I agree.
well, it's amazing to me too is how these all these senators go into politics and they're basically broke or they got a couple $100,000 in their I guess in their bank accounts, and then like Bernie himself now has 3 houses and he's a millionaire and he wants us to
off of public money.
Yeah, we'll cough up 90% of our money, but somehow it's do as I say and not as I do.
Right, like Maxine Waters. They call for Trump's tax returns. Okay, I'll give you mine if you give me yours, Maxine. Show me where you got this $4.5 million house from. Show me where you got this. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'll give you yours. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
One more thing. They don't want a wall, but they sure do have them completely around their houses to keep them safe. Really?
Sure they do.
Yeah, no, they do. That's the funny thing.
They do.
Yeah. Even the Vatican has a wall.
Not only that, but they got around it. They let these people in, and they got all these diseases everywhere they're going. You show a map of where these people are going and where the measles outbreaks are happening, and where all these diseases are cropping up, and they overlap, and they're just for that alone. When my father came over here, he came over from Austria. He's from Trento, the same town where they filmed The Sound of Music. In fact, my grandmother was down the road neighbors with the Von Trapp family. He came over about the same time as Von Trapp got out of Austria, and he had to spend like a week and a half on Ellis Island in isolation to make sure he didn't have no community. What happened to that?
Right. What do they do with that now? You're right.
What happened to that?
They're coming here
just let anybody in
so.
Well, I think that's the big thing that they always leave out is they always say that he's a racist and you're labeled a racist if you're not, I guess, drinking the Kool-Aid that they're drinking. But there's no problem, and I don't have any problem with people coming in because my wife's family, she had these she came over from Poland and everyone in her family, they didn't get these super rights that they're getting now. You actually had to work for something and you had to kind of build yourself up. That's the American dream right there. It wasn't to, come over here and just live off everything or take everything. There are starter up programs and there's help out there for that, and that's fine. But I think it's gone past that and it's more taken advantage of now, and I think that's where we're at with the problems.
Well, the thing is that
we don't want them. It's do it right. Come in the right way, and we will welcome you with open arms.
Exactly.
But it's always been that way.
We're not going to welcome you.
Coming through
it's
the door.
Like today,
jumping
they
over
had
the
that
fence
movement
back here.
today the May Day thing
That's
today
true.
for
They wouldn't have
they
that.
protested
have that.
for illegal aliens to get their driver's license in New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
But they can
So
vote.
they can go pick up their kids from school? Really?
Yeah.
Today.
No, it's gotten
They
to the point.
protested today.
Okay.
Well, you know, Stony, to me, all I see is that's what the Democratic Party, unfortunately, and some rhinos want to push because that leaves them in control.
That's
They don't like the fact that the awakening has happened. They hate it. Better off
What
in the
yeah,
dark.
They do. What
If
about
they
the
run
Bill
stuff in the
Barr
dark?
slaughter today?
Well, they don't
About the
teach
Bill-
history and they don't teach civics anymore.
Bill Barr
Those are
slaughter. That
those
was-
are out the door. History and civics are pretty much out the door, or they're
Oh,
watered down or changed or whatever. Whatever more, I guess,
Fits the
PC.
narrative.
Yeah, you can.
Fits the narrative.
Yeah,
Fits the whole.
Well,
It's a mess.
again, it goes back. It goes back to this. Who runs the media? The CIA and the
Yep.
deep state. That's all they are.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a big
programming.
pyramid, that's all it is. If we would do that, let's say me and Dave and you, we do that, we're going to jail for the rest of our life. They can monopolize everything, and we
Yeah.
just got to accept the fact that they're rich and we're not.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, I'm not going to accept the fact that they're rich
Well,
and
they
I'm
got
not.
the money by looting the public too.
Yeah.
Let's not
You're
forget
stealing,
that either.
stealing. Now you're going to call.
We
Now you're
paid
getting
for
called to the mat.
yeah.
We pay for it. That's what makes
We
me
paid
so
for it.
angry.
That's the
We
kick
pay
in
for
the butt,
everything
yeah.
they do.
And we
Bill
have
Barr
for how
got
many
slaughtered
decades?
today?
Well, I think we turned a blind eye, for a long time, and I think we were kind of bamboozled too. A lot of people are bamboozled by what the mainstream media is out there doing. So I think it's
What
one of
happens if
those
we
things.
Stop paying for it, though.
Yeah.
What
No,
are
we never
gonna do
stop
if we
paying
stop
for it.
paying for it.
We're going to be paying for it, and our kids will be paying for it, and their kids' kids, and it's sad because these people are all multimillionaires, and how much are they giving to taxes, and I mean how much are they putting? Hey, the taxes are there, the loopholes like that. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that until they change that code or whatever. It is what it is, but. When the Clintons are stealing money and doing everything with uranium for Russia, it's pretty bad.
Right. When's it our turn, though? When is it our turn?
It's
Tired of
coming.
always being on their terms. We pay them to give us rules. When's it our
Drain the
turn to
swamp.
make a rule?
Well,
Put down the government.
luckily we got somebody in office now who said he's going to drain the swamp. And if you watch what's gone on since he got elected, how many major CEOs have quit or resigned?
Yep.
And these
That's right.
and these guys are in their
fired.
50s.
You're fired. Yeah. We like
These guys are in their
them.
50s. So they worked their whole life to get to that CEO, and they're giving it up for ridiculous reasons? No. Trump sent a message. I got you by the ball bag. Now
That's
you
right.
got two choices.
And we showed them who we are by social media got President Trump elected. I'm convinced of that.
I agree.
Because before then, you could say just about anything political on YouTube, social media platform you wanted to, and nobody, if they didn't like what you said, they didn't listen, and if they liked what you said, they gave thumbs up or something. But now, since Trump won the election, because of us, because of people like us, I mean, I'm just a butterfly farting in Kenya, hoping to start a tornado in Kansas. But there's thousands of us.
Yeah.
There's thousands of us, and we showed them who we are, and we showed them that, hey, we got the power to do this.
Yep.
And they say, before they blew us off, they're just a bunch of conspiracy theories, flapping their yaps on YouTube, it ain't gonna amount to nothing. We got this.
Yeah.
And when she lost,
Much of a conspiracy theory now, are we?
yeah,
No,
when
we
she
ain't.
lost by the landslide she lost by, then Operation Mockingbird got converted over and shifted over to the social media platforms. Alex Jones got taken off of everything simultaneously on the same day, got banned off the internet. And I thought then the people were going to pick up their weapons and go down and clean house. But obviously that didn't happen. So then they started with us. First they started demonetizing us, then they started shadow banning us, and then they started hitting us with copyright strikes for videos that we made 3 years ago that didn't have a problem up until now. And now there's, we got you said the word Muslim. Oh, we can't have any Muslims. There's only two kinds of Muslims. They say there's peaceful Muslims and there's terrorists. Well, you know what? When they run out of terrorists, who are they going to recruit? Me? Not me. They're going to recruit the same people that believe the same thing they believe in.
Yep.
Not me. So, let's call it like it is. Because
that's
the
the
Muslim
problem.
religion is not really a religion. It's a political ideology. It's like cheese on steroids.
Right.
Yep.
It's made
And it's made up because we know that the CIA back in the first Operation Desert Storm went over there and passed around all these doctored Qurans. They actually printed Qurans and gave it out to people who never read the Quran.
Yeah, no, it's true. Hey, Dave, we got
They
another.
started that.
Yeah, we gotta go, but hey, we thank you for coming on. We could definitely have you on again. We'll get some more information out of you, maybe in a couple of weeks. Are you in for up for that?
Yes, absolutely. And if anybody wants to subscribe to our channels, my main channel is Whirlwind Revolt on YouTube, and I have net number 4 Truth USA on BitChute. You want to give out your information, Stony, so they can?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is Stony Stone. You can't make this shite SHYT up news on YouTube. You can't make this shite up. I don't care what you do.
No,
That's
you really
right.
can't.
Absolutely.
You can't
do that.
this up. I appreciate you having us.
Hey guys, thank you again very
Appreciate
much,
it,
and we'll
gentlemen.
have you on in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Yep, have a
Peace.
great night.
Take care, Stony.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Godspeed.
Bye.
Make America great again, boss.
Absolutely.
Take care.
You got it.
Be good.
Be good. So that's a lot to take in.
Wow.
Wow, that was something.
He's full of information, and the thing with him is, you can go back it up and do your own research.
And I think that's what it is. It's tough when you couldn't go on like NBC's website and see that though. They'll never put that on.
No.
But you look at some of the things going on and you say to yourself, what are the chances that on an airport, do you think you could, a big jet, they're just going to
You two would run into each other?
45 minutes too. Be able to hold up a plane for 45 minutes. I don't care who I am. You gotta. There's something there that's going on.
It's called the power.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So it's one of those things, and I think that if I can't see, if you say Tom Brady was there doing it, they tell Tom Brady to leave. So I think there's a lot of fear factor with the Clintons because people have known to
Disappear?
get
caught in
pass
a robe,
away,
a bathrobe tie.
something, heart attacks.
Another call.
Yeah, got another caller on now.
It's a hot night.
Yeah, so we got a lot of people coming in. A lot of people are, I guess, getting more involved now. I want to say that's what it is.
And better involved than just sit and go, the mainstream media is right.
Yeah.
It used to be a time, I was thinking about this the other day. I can remember sitting in my
Who's
living
the
room
caller,
watching black and
Bruce?
white TV. Walter Cronkite
Yeah.
talking about Vietnam.
Yeah.
I was probably 8, 9 years old. For some reason, it popped into my head. It was half lies and half truth. But back then, it was Walter Cronkite. You got to believe him.
Yeah. He delivered it, though.
Is he on?
Is it up? Hey, Chris, are you on?
I'm up.
Hey, here he is. No, it's great. We had Chris on, Dick. This is Chris Ponte, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to pick your brain for a little bit about all the goings on. So, and we'll start off, Chris. How can anybody get in touch with you if they want to watch your show or if they want to listen to a radio or any kind of blog, anything you have? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can tune into Truth Be Told Radio Network at truthbetoldnetwork.org. I'm on every day from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock for a full hour with a podcast. That's Monday through Friday. And then I do a Tuesday night TV show at Comcast in Danbury in between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And if they wish to call in, the number is 203-792-4101. Thanks, man.
And you'll take all kinds of questions. You don't care what side it is. I think what you do is you probably you're willing to back up with some facts, right?
Exactly. We've worked with current events, and we just try to make it as provoking, thought-provoking as possible. And people call in, and they're free to air their beliefs.
Yeah, I think the problem I always have is you see all these guys, and I think of Bill Nye right away. He has all this stuff about global warming and everything, but when it comes down to having a debate with anybody, he never wants to debate. He just, he always says, well, they always push it to something else. That you're racist, or you don't care about this, you're a xenophobe. It always goes to another direction, and not really the facts of what we're talking about at that moment.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned climate change, because I had a guy on that was well-versed in it, and it's not my strong suit, to be honest with you, but he told me that the instrumentation only covers 4% of the world. So 96% of measurements are being missed, okay? And you're only getting half the story. When you only get one side of a debate, okay, chances are you're being hoodwinked. So when it comes to our government, with Mr. Trump, what's going on in the States, I'd like to have people on the ground, boots on the ground. Like, for example, there's a person that calls my show who lives in Washington, D.C., and she's connected. I talk to people that live in different states and say, hey, is this in the school system in California? Is this the truth at the border? I've had people on from Texas who live close to the border. So I try to take some of the think out of it by getting the viewpoints of people that are a little closer to the action than I am.
Well, talking about the border, I think last month they had 100,000 people try to cross the border, which they say usually in a year they have 400,000. And this is 1 month that they're already having 100,000 people coming in. So, from what I understand, there's a lot of people getting these, I guess, coyotes going to bring them up to America, and it's all kind of funneled back to George Soros in a way.
Well,
yeah.
all the things I hear is it's actually a revolving door now where they're bringing kids across because that's instant asylum, and then they recycle the kids and bring them back and take another group of people over.
Well,
So,
what do
something's
you
got to
hear,
be done.
Chris? Chris, what do you hear on that, on the whole process of what they're doing down there?
Well, the thing is, I've spoken to people in Texas, and the border has been a war zone. There's one woman that's been living in Texas for 40 years, and she says as far as she can remember, the border has been a problem. So this is not something that's manufactured. To be honest with you, as long as we keep having instances like Kate Steinle and Molly Tibbetts, where illegals are killing people, that's too many. And I don't care what the stats are. If you have snuck into this country, okay, you better keep a low profile. Because if you commit a crime, it's going to be it's going to be like multiplied by 1 million. I think about if I was a fugitive of justice and I ran away from, let's say, being drafted in the 60s to the Vietnam War.
Where'd you go?
And I was up in Canada. I would make sure that I kept a very low profile and didn't compound the interest in me by committing felonies. Right. So there's a lot of people that are trying to storm the gates, but thankfully we have a military and a commander-in-chief that cares about the legal taxpayers of this country.
Well, I can tell you this. I have a friend of mine 2 years ago riding his Harley up Route 69 in Wolcott, got hit by an illegal alien. on the opposite side of the road, drunk, here illegally. It cost my buddy over $200,000 for his medical bills. It almost killed him.
Right.
That illegal alien got a slap on the hand and was never deported.
And I think the other thing too is when you can look at it that way, how they're taking people's lives away from them. But you also got to look at an economic standpoint. As I was in the landscape business for a while, and you could see that guys that are coming in and they don't have any insurance, they don't have registered cars, they don't have any of that stuff.
Nope.
It's a lot easier for you to say, hey, I can cut your lawn for $30 when somebody else who's doing all the right stuff has to charge $55.
Yep.
So who are you going to go with? You're going to go with the cheaper guy at the time, and most of the time it's cash, and they get to get their benefits and things like that. And I think a lot of people understand. Yeah, and you get a deal, and that's the whole thing. And that's the problem with the system because the guy out there doing the right thing is actually
getting punished,
or he has to work his tail off, 2 more days just to make up for what is, and I think that's where it's not fair, and a lot of people don't see that. They don't see that part of the the angle that is being played out here. And,
well,
and
maybe they don't, but our elected officials, one of the things that is their job is to look out for their constituents.
Yeah.
Right?
That's supposed to. They're
supposed to, but they don't.
No, that's just. Yeah,
My feeling is, I take it a step further. If I'm in the United States and I employ an illegal immigrant, and if they commit a felony, I've committed a felony. I need some skin. I need some skin in the game, because our own people are hiring these guys, and they're keeping them in this country, but they don't have any skin in the game.
Right.
And the laws need to be written is that if you're in any business and you want to take a risk and hire someone that doesn't have a social security number, and if they ever got caught committing a crime, not only is it going to shut you down, but you're going to prison with them.
I agree with you.
Amen.
You want to see how quick?
Yeah.
Things would stop with illegals?
Yeah. I mean,
I agree with you 100%. You got skin in the game, all of a sudden it's no.
Like I said, if you apply for a work visa and you want to come here for a certain amount of time, I have no problem with that, because that does. And if you take the time and effort and become a citizen, I'm all for that. But do it by the right channels, as we said many a times. I don't think there's a way that you can come here and do something illegal and then you're getting basically you know what
I think, Chris, people really don't understand. We don't have an immigration problem here in the United States. We got an invasion problem.
That's what it is.
We're being invaded. Get that word immigration out. They're not citizens. They have no rights. Get them out.
That's exactly.
They seem to have a lot of stamina. Every time I see pictures of the groups that are coming up towards our border, it always looks like the starting line at the New York City Marathon.
It does.
Well, George Soros has got deep pockets.
He does.
There's like 53,000 people. Why don't you just give them numbers and let's see who can get to the border first? Make it a race. It's not the most subtle thing in the world.
No.
But let's face it, we've seen it in Texas. Over 93,000 of these people ended up on the voting rolls in the 2018 midterms, and just as many or more in California. Yeah. So listen, between Arizona and Texas and California, these people are actually affecting our elections. I'll give you a perfect example. Kristen Sinema, who is a senator from Arizona, okay? She had no business winning, but they loaded up the illegals for her. And that's something I believe that before 2020, there is going to be reports done by all of the state's attorney generals of voter fraud, and there is going to be a major lockdown before 2020 comes around, where you will not be able to vote unless you have a real ID, not some IOU from Venezuela, not some IOU from Mexico. You have to be a legal voter. And after they get done prosecuting a lot of these so-called Democrats and some Republicans that did Trump dirty and tried to do Trump dirty, when the dust clears in the middle of next year, they are going to put some legislation out there regarding real voters. And if you think what happened with Barr and Kavanaugh was bad, you watch when that legislation comes up, because it's going to put people in the position of having to defend illegals to vote. And then this country is going to wake up as to what this invasion really is.
Yes, exactly. And they're also trying to, how do prisoners who took someone's life have rights? Because the person that you just killed.
Sanders. But look, Sanders was talking about socialism. Venezuela is not only on fire, but the military has decided to run over the people, joining forces with Maduro. So even in this socialism, it's oppression against people.
Yeah.
So whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's AOC, all you have to do is show video of Venezuela, and they're trying to do that in this country. And not only will they not do it, but they will be incarcerated for trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what Dave, our previous guest, was saying.
Yeah.
He puts out information on YouTube, several channels, and it's, sorry, you're not going to see it on the mainstream media, and if you push a little too hard, you're demonetized or they take your channel down.
Yeah.
So we as American patriots need to find other ways
to get the word out.
And wake people up. I have friends of mine that think I'm nuts. I got friends of mine that are like, I never thought about it that way. So the more we talk.
Yeah.
But I think our generation has so much pride in the country. We can't see it. And we didn't see this happen. They sucker punched us. Basically, what happened. And we grew up with pride.
We believed.
We did. We were born with the red, white, and blue. We would never burn a flag. We were, it wouldn't happen. Nowadays, they don't teach history the way it should be taught. They don't teach civics the way it should be taught. So these kids, they don't have any clue. And you're going to offer them a free anything. It could be.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not free.
It's not free. But they don't understand that. They just think that.
I got a kick out of that. Not to interrupt, but Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
3 houses. He's paid like 5% of his money to donations, 10%, 3% for. Wait a minute, he's the socialist.
Yeah,
give up some of that money, Bernie. We'll get some immigrants in your cabin up on Lake Champlain.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Hey, Chris, we ran out of time here. We got to get to John Spin, but we appreciate you coming on. We'll have you on again in a couple weeks, okay?
Okay, bro. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Have a good night, Chris.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And we want to say to everybody, have a great weekend. It's a very lively debate tonight with everything. It wasn't really a debate. It was one-sided, but whatever.
Yeah. Talk to a neighbor, shake their hand, and tell them you love them.
Yeah. Start waving to your neighbors and say a prayer for someone else. They're probably going to need it tonight. Have a good weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care,
Hasta
everybody.
luego.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. All right, welcome to Spinato Spin for this May 1st. Believe that? Already killed 4 months already. May 1st right here in front of us. May 1st, Wednesday, of course. But I'll tell you what, it's a great time to be around. Great time to be thinking about positive things. Always super to get to let my thoughts out with you. And I got something to talk about today. I kind of want to get it off my chest and see how we go from there. I heard a great motivational speaker said this one time. He said, we all just grow up out there. We all just grow up. Let's let things fall on the table, okay? Let's look at them, all right? This country is incredible. You know why? Because it has a dream. You can have a dream in this country. The American dream. You can't name the Russian dream. You can't name the Chinese dream. You can't name the Cuban dream. Not if you're a citizen. Not if you're part of this country. Here's what it comes down to. What is your dream? What dreams do you have? What vision do you have for yourself, for your family, for your neighborhood, for your town, for your city, for your state, for your country? You know, my goal, my vision, tell you straight up, flat out, I want everyone to pursue their dream. And in the quest of pursuing their dream, they do whatever they can to help other people pursue their dream. Can you see that happening? That's what we're trying to do here. That's what positive talk is all about. That's what positive thinking is all about. This country was built for the dreamers. This country was built on a dream. That's what this country's really all about. We got to protect that dream. Whenever someone says anything bad about our country, they're shooting a hole in your dream. They're not only shooting a hole in my dream, they're shooting a hole in your dream. What's your dream? See this? You're all on the yellow brick road. You're all on the yellow brick road, right? Follow the yellow brick road. We learned that in The Wizard of Oz. Makes a lot of sense. You got to follow the yellow brick road. What's the yellow brick road? It's your dream. You got to chase down that dream with a passion. You know, like they say, be in hot pursuit. Like pretend like you lost your car keys and you got to get to work in 20 minutes. How hard would you look for the keys? Huh? How hard would you look for those keys? That's your dream. You're chasing your dream down the road. You got to keep charging. You got to have a focus, a vision of what you want to see happen. Because you know why? Because if you don't do that, you'll wind up in somebody else's nightmare. That's what you'll wind up with. You'll wind up in a nightmare if you don't follow a dream. You got to have a dream. Everybody knows that. If you start becoming a drifter, that's when bad stuff starts happening. That's why these people that are out of work get in trouble. What do you think happens? Then they lost the focus of their dream. What's your dream? Well, you can't have people snagging away from you. See, I believe that we live in a country of the ladder of opportunity. All we got to do is keep climbing that ladder and we're going to get to the top. Call me a dreamer, call me a fool, but that's what I believe in. I don't believe that someone should throw us down a rope and we hope that they keep pulling as long as we keep holding on. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I don't think you do either. I don't think you believe in that. I think you want to climb the ladder, stand on your own 2 feet and do something. So when you reach the top or get as far as you can, you feel satisfied that you did something. That's what we're all about. Isn't that what America is all about? Isn't that what you're all about? Isn't that what our neighborhoods are all about? It's all about following a dream. The dream is my son does better than me, and his son does better than him. And we keep going up and down the line. If you're poor, you're ragged, you ain't got a pot to pee in, I hope you find a way to become poor. Then I hope you find a way to become middle class. Then I hope you find a way to get yourself where you really want to go and move up and be something you're proud of. You see, most people never want to do that until they realize what's going on. That's why I'm saying y'all got to wake up out there. Y'all got to wake up. You got to grow up. You got to give it a shot. You got to realize what's going on. Got to realize what's going on. They're trying to take away your dream. Every time you hear crap about our country that's not right, they're stealing your dream. What's it mean to you? I don't know. It's up to you. You know, Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. Well, what happens if everybody just got up and said, I have a dream? What was his dream? What's your dream? You got to chase it down. You got to be excited about it. Let's keep rolling the picture, see if we can keep your attention a little longer here. Roll another one there. You got to have a vision. Obviously, what did Helen Keller say? What's worse than being blind? Having sight and no vision. Right? What is worse than being blind? Having the sight but no vision. The Bible says it flat out. Without a vision, the people will perish. That's just common sense. And that makes a lot of sense. If you understand what I'm talking about, you got the ears to hear me, eyes to see me. Think about another one here. Let's keep rolling. Spinach. Yeah, you got to get fired up. You got to be like Popeye. Popeye had his spinach and he got himself back together again. Need a wake-up call. We all need a wake-up call. We all need to feel better about ourselves. Talk positive people. Hang around positive people. Get away from the ones that aren't keeping you positive and making you feel better about yourself. Why would you do that? Someone comes over your house, starts puking all over your house. What are you going to do? You're going to try to get them help, right? But first you're going to get them the hell out of your house, aren't you? You don't want to puke it all over you and puke it all over your house, do you? That doesn't work. You got to say yourself positive. You got to stay away from the negative, dull, disillusioned, daggum crybabies like half those half-butted politicians out there. They ain't leaders. Don't follow them and don't even think that they're leaders. You want to follow a leader, somebody you're proud of, somebody you believe in. Follow somebody that believes in what you're trying to do. How much you want to be somebody. How much you want to improve what's going on around you. You don't want to live in crap. Rocky said it good. Nobody wants garbage, right? Nobody wants to hang out with garbage. A little girl says, maybe I like garbage. Nah, no one likes garbage. You don't want to be around garbage. You don't want to let freaking garbage into this country either. You want to make sure it's clean, it's pure, it knows what it's doing, and then you let it in. You don't just let garbage in. I like to see somebody dump a whole ton of garbage into one of these people that support that house and see how they feel about it. Or send the puking guy over there for them. No, we don't want that. We want to chase down our dream. Hot pursuit. You lost your car keys. Find your car keys so you can go where you got to go. That's what the yellow brick road's all about. And that's what getting the spinach and getting fired up's all about. Something's got to get up your butt and get moving. What's the other one up there? Yeah, got to reach for the try. You know, here's something I want to tell you. You know, this is something that we've all been working on for a while. We're doing something special, and we're going to keep charging. I'll tell you what, fantastic talking to you today. My time's up. I hope I helped you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot for watching The Spin. Take care now.
Stony and I want to thank our hosts for the opportunity to appear on their program and look forward to our next broadcast. Freedom of speech will not be suppressed, and we will explore any and all venues to ensure that the rights of all Americans are defended and passed on to future generations. Please don't forget to subscribe to The Take. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net for Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net for Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description. But for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/net4truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.